Welcome to Wrestling Over Everything, everybody. We are a very funny podcast, wrestling podcast out of the Central Valley of California. I'm Andrew. That's Dusty.
Hey.
Follow us on YouTube. Follow us on Instagram, which I'm not on Instagram very much, so strike that. Follow us on YouTube and TikTok. Those are the big ones. And Blue Sky. Those are the big three. We got a big three.
Yeah. We're like
the
San
Miami
Antonio.
Heat.
Yeah. Or the Boston Celtics.
Yeah.
Or possibly a team we're going to talk about tonight.
That is true.
There might be a big three involved in that. So,
yeah.
All right, Andrew, it is...
Hold on.
What runs around a baseball field but never moves? A fence.
That's the worst one so far, I think.
Yeah, that's just a fact.
That's not even like kind of funny. If you thought that was funny, turn this podcast off immediately.
Yeah, or go look at our memes. You might find humor in the memes.
If you thought that was funny, you'll need CPR after hearing this podcast.
That's right. All right, this week I figured we're near Survivor Series season. We're kind of around it. Very important figure in wrestling history debuted at the Survivor Series. So for this week, I cooked up. We're going to talk about the Undertaker's first year in the WWF, which I believe you have never seen most, if not any of this stuff, right?
Yeah, probably none of it. I know we've watched like early Undertaker stuff, but I don't know if we've watched any of this. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
What year is this?
This is 1990 to 1991.
God damn, he's old, huh?
Yeah, I think we watched a lot of Purple Glove Undertaker. This is Gray Glove Undertaker. Important distinction.
The gloves are weird. Those gloves are too big to, like, you're gonna lose some finger dexterity. Like, I try to cook with gloves that are too big. My girlfriend, God bless her soul, got me XL gloves to cook with.
She believes in you.
She believes in me. She doesn't understand how skinny these phalanges are.
They're dexterous, but they're medium.
I'm coordinated, but I am not. I'm not a girthy man.
So Undertaker, Andrew.
Yep.
What is your relationship to the dead man? Goddamn dead man.
I mean, I've seen a lot of the Undertaker. Meaning, like, I came up early 2000s. So when I was watching a lot of wrestling, we had the Biker Taker situation.
Right. Which makes sense as to why he's your favorite.
Well,
and his politics.
I'm just big into his politics.
Yeah.
He's not my favorite. I definitely have a lot of respect for the Undertaker. Like, I think it's really cool. Aside from, ironically, the period that I watched, it's cool that, like, this gimmick, the gimmick that he has in what we're watching right now, has barely changed. He's just a dead man. He walks really slow. He wears that flat brim hat, and he has the same song even. And so I respect that because he's made it work. They definitely evolved the character throughout the years as WWE got kind of less in that kind of goofy, like less magic-y, you know?
Yeah.
We've talked about it. I think the walking on the ropes and holding the guy's hand thing is one of the dumbest things in wrestling. I know a lot of people are into that. I know it's impressive to be able to do that all the time. Like, sure, but I think it's a dumb move. But Tombstone Piledriver, one of the most devastating finishers of all time. He had the choke slam. He had the last ride. He had Hell's Gate.
Hell's Gate.
Hell yeah, dude. Look at me.
I believe. Right? That's a go-go plata?
I can't remember. But it's it's very funny that the zombie man ended up just being we've talked about this, like a normal, just straightforward Marcus of Queensberry boxer.
But best striker in the wrestling history, bro.
Yeah.
He's got big old ham hocks.
Yeah. But I'm a big fan. I do like the Undertaker.
Yeah. I think this gimmick is really interesting to sort of look at from its inception.
Yeah.
And so that's where we're starting, but a little bit about our man, Mark Calloway. So, thing that I didn't know is Mark Calloway played center for the Los Angeles Rams during the 1985-86 NFL season. And he also went to Texas Wesleyan University, where he majored in sports management, which sounds
dude.
like the kind of bullshit major you would get if you thought you were going to be the center for the Los Angeles Rams.
I don't know, man. I gotta do something as sports.
Like,
sport. I don't know. I care about sports.
So many pro athletes have degrees in kinesiology or like to be a PE teacher.
It's
know?
it's communications, kinesiology, sports management, and education are the things that they go into. But sports management, actually, like sports business is a pretty cool major, like because you'll find like a minor league team to work for or something. I had 2 kids that I coached. One of them is executive for like an account executive for the Padres, and his brother is an account executive for the Dodgers. Got a fucking World Series ring. Like,
hell yeah, dude.
And he just went to school for sports management, got his BA, and it's a cool major. Did he actually play for the Rams, or was he just on the practice squad?
Well, this is from Wikipedia, and it says played as a center.
I know. So I'm looking at that. I'm going to figure this out.
I think that might be a strike season, or there might have been scabs involved. Who knows? But he decides that he's going to leave university before he gets his sports management degree, and he's flirting with the idea of playing professional basketball in Europe when he decides to become a pro wrestler. Now, the Undertaker's got one of the famous, he got bamboozled by a pro wrestler who said he was going to train him stories, a guy that we could do a deep dive bio on at some point. The wrestler Buzz Sawyer, essentially in his backyard, charged the Undertaker money to train him, taught him how to tie up, and then blew town. Left the Undertaker holding the bag.
See, what you do is this. That's wrestling. That's like that's hip hop girl.
Yeah, that's it. And so like this, all of these stories exist of either huckster wrestlers or guys that would like try to hurt you or really stretch you to, like, they said, like, prove that your commitment to the business or whatever, but it's just carny hillbilly bullshit to take some money and then leave a guy hanging, you know.
Yep.
So he ends up working for World Class Championship Wrestling. In his first match ever, he wrestles Bruiser Brody and loses, obviously. And he actually meets Percy Pringle, who becomes Paul Bearer in the WWF in World Class, and that guy, that's his manager there as well. So he gets some more training. He says that he gets a lot of on the job training, just working territory styles. And then he's in 1989, he is tapped by World Championship Wrestling to come in to be one half of the Skyscrapers. They had a tag team, 2 tall guys, Sid Vicious and Dan Spivey. Dan Spivey got hurt, so somebody gave him a tip like, hey, we got a big fucker, bring that guy in. So
I went hiking with Dan Spivey.
How'd it turn out?
He developed poison ivy.
Yeah. I heard that wasn't a great trip. I heard you wrote home about it.
Yeah, there was a lot, man. All the counselors hated the waiters. The lakes had alligators.
But then, at the end, pretty nice. Please disregard this letter.
Yeah, I had everybody. It was on the pay no mind list. Everybody's playing baseball.
Sid got hurt. That's what happened. So Sid got injured. So was Dan Spivey and Mean Mark, which was his name in WCW.
Comment if you understood the camp related reference earlier, but Mean Mark, I've made fun of Mean Mark before as a name. Yeah. I don't hate Mean Mark, especially in that era. Like, if he's mean, there's alliteration going on.
Yeah, he's a big guy, has a mean face. That can work. It's better than like whenever they made Kevin Nash Oz or whatever.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
he could have been in the Dungeon of Doom. 5 years later, if he's still fresh in the industry, he's coming in as Hugh Morris.
He's coming in, yeah. If he's still fresh in the industry, they're wrapping him like a mummy.
Yeah. So there are worse fates than Mean Mark.
And for some reason calling him a Yeti.
Yeah. during contract renewal with WCW, Ole Anderson, who's the booker at that point, noted nice chill guy Ole Anderson, tells Mark that he likes him, but that no one will ever pay money to watch him perform. So
I'm going to get more specific, Mark. You're never going to wrestle at WrestleMania. You're never going to be an American Badass as much as you try.
If there's some kind of streak, you're on the losing end of it, brother. I hate to tell you.
You're going to marry a woman named Sarah, and it's going to go so well. That is going to be how your life goes.
So basically, he's Mark Calloway's like, well, the booker hates me. I'm going to try to get in to the WWF. And so Bruce Pritchard is trying to sell Vince McMahon on this idea because they have the Undertaker gimmick, but they don't have a guy for it. And this is like a long-standing kind of Vince idea of this old Western sort of Undertaker. So they're like,
sick
maybe this
idea.
Guy, yeah, they're like, maybe this guy will fit. And so he has a match with Lex Luger at Great American Bash 1990, where famously he works like shit because he has an injured hip. And so he can't really work. And so Vince watches that match and is like, I got nothing for this guy. I agree with Ole Anderson. No one will ever pay. This guy will never be the phenom that I hope that he would be. So they keep pitching him to Vince, and they're like, no, this guy, I think this guy really could do it. So Vince meets with him. They go over some stuff. I think I told this story before, but the Undertaker, Vince always asks what your like hobbies or whatever are. He's like, what's an interesting fact about you, or what's something, what, because that's how his mind works, because he's a circus promoter. And the Undertaker joked, well, I could carry a tune pretty well. I sing in the shower. I sound pretty good. And then he got home and he's like, how stupid.
Yeah.
Because they're gonna make me an opera singer, or they're gonna do some bullshit with me. And it's never gonna work.
Theater Taker would have been great, dude.
Well, he is, I mean, honestly, kind of Theater Taker. This is a theater kid ass gimmick.
He does, and he does talk like a nerd sometimes when he's like a nerd. Have you ever seen a nerd like go into trying to be tough guy mode, and you can tell he's just doing what he saw in a video game? Like,
yeah,
that's kind of the vibe. Not all the time, most of the time, and he eventually got really good at it. But like at the beginning, he's acting. Shout out to John Lovitz.
Yeah. So they call him back. And he's like, what terrible gimmick are they going to try to saddle me with? And that's when Vince pitches him the Undertaker. And he's like, obviously, So that leads us to the first segment that we watched, which is from Survivor Series 1990, my beloved Survivor Series, which took place the Wednesday before Thanksgiving. I can't think of something I'd want to do less than go to the Survivor Series with my family the Wednesday before Thanksgiving, like the night before.
When you were a kid, would you have hated that?
When I was a kid, I probably would have loved it, but they used to have.
I'd fucking love to go to Survivor Series with my family the day before Thanksgiving. Like now, as a 35-year-old man, my sister, my dad, and fucking Survivor Series. Can you believe it?
They used to have it on actual Thanksgiving night, which seems insane to me. Like you eat turkey at 2, and then you're going to go see Hulk Hogan's team wrestle Andre the Giant's team in the evening.
Yeah, man, that's not optimal, but I think it would be a sick ass Thanksgiving.
Might get you out of some arguments.
I get to see Dusty Rhodes.
Nancy, Aunt Nancy can't yell at you over the sounds of Coco Beware's theme music.
You know what I do with Aunt Nancy? I've done this before. Just pour the bowl of mashed potatoes right on her head. Shuts her right up.
Yep. Now you can't come to Survivor Series. You didn't bring a change of clothes.
Yeah.
So,
oh no.
This took place at the Hartford Civic Center, Hartford, Connecticut. 16,000 people attended this Survivor Series. Believe it or not, this version of the Survivor Series, they're kind of scrambling for some stuff to do because the concept is very limited.
Yeah.
Check
out our last TikTok video about the War Games.
Yeah, in terms of heat, for some of these matches, it's a little bit tough. But we have the Dream Team, which is Dusty Rhodes, Coco Beware, and the Hart Foundation. Put me right in that car, bro. That sounds like a fun time
Those guys
hanging
going
out with
down the
those.
street.
Yeah, hanging out with those dudes.
Sitting between the anvil and Dusty Rhodes, you're like this.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm sorry, baby. I told you I should have been driving.
I don't know why I'm in the back seat. So they're taking on the $1 Million Team, which is the $1 Million Man, Honky Tonk Man, and Greg the Hammer Valentine in one of the worst dye jobs I've ever seen. They're a tag team called Rhythm and Blues at this point.
Did they just decide that you can't do rhythm and blues as a blonde guy? Like,
they must have. Like,
he's got beautiful blonde hair.
Yeah, and he's Greg the Hammer Valentine, and now suddenly he's a country music star. Like, it breaks the ultimate wrestling rule, which is don't come out with a prop that you can't perform with, because Honky Tonk Man can play guitar.
Yeah,
so he's got it. But Greg the Hammer Valentine, he does not know how to play guitar at all. And it's very apparent whenever you see him coming out with that guitar. He doesn't know how to hold it. He doesn't know how to strum. It's a whole thing.
I can see everybody. Well, I don't know if everybody listening has been to a hillbilly party. Dusty, you've been to a hillbilly party.
I have been to a hillbilly party.
I could see Greg the Hammer Valentine being the really drunk, middle-aged man that gets a hold of a guitar at the hillbilly party, and he holds it really high and only strums with his thumb, and he doesn't know how to play. Like, and he's just trying to have a good time, you know?
Yeah, he's infatuated with the instrument. He knows.
I always knew I was destined to do this shit. I just don't know how to do it. He starts singing "Titties and Beer." Yeah, that's the song that goes straight to every time, man.
That's a
drunk uncle's Wonderwall is "Titties and Beer."
Yeah, there's a Hank Williams Jr. song in there, and there's Rodney Carrington. He's telling a really sad story, talking about something serious. He's like, anyway, but brother, here's "Titties and Beer." Yeah, here's "I'll Put a Boot in Your Ass" for the USA. So there's a mystery partner. That's the main thing here, because like this is what I used to love about the Survivor Series as a kid. Is it's like Dusty Rhodes and $1 Million Man are in a feud, and then Rhythm and Blues and the Hart Foundation are in a feud. Coco Beware doesn't apparently have a guy to feud with, but like they kind of intertwine these storylines, but the matches are boring because there's no real stakes to winning a Survivor Series match. So
yeah, and generally, I agree with you. I hate Survivor Series. We've talked about this before. It's too long. Yeah. It's too damn long. But I liked this one.
Okay.
And we can talk about why after we break down the match for sure.
Yeah. $1 Million Man gets on the mic. He announces from Death Valley, 325 pounds, my mystery partner, The Undertaker. And the gong goes off. Like, they have, I'm going to say on this initial debut, they have like 80% of the gimmick.
The music isn't perfect because the music's a little different. It's the same song, I think, but they don't get to the da na 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 until like later on, and then like 3 clips in that we watched, they figured it out. It is gong, and then you go straight into the badass shit. You know. But yeah,
Brother Love is his manager.
How?
That's because I think Bruce Pritchard is kind of the catalyst of this gimmick. I think it's part of it. He's from Texas. He's from Texas, so I think that sort of thing. And then Brother Love needs a heavy. So who's the counter to Brother Love? If he's supposed to be Love, then you've got Kane. You've got the Undertaker, who's like the ultimate evil, right? So they do a great job. It's Gorilla Monsoon and Roddy Piper on commentary. And man, do I not like Roddy Piper on commentary, but he does a great job selling the Undertaker on the way to the ring. And they do like a forced like worm's eye perspective shot underneath the Undertaker, so he looks even taller and even more menacing. Like they do a good job
Piper yells, "Look at the size of that ham hock!"
Look at the size of that ham hock.
And I kind of like Piper on commentary, and it's made better by contrast because later on we hear Roddy Piper with Macho Man on commentary, and Macho Man on commentary is jarring. Like you can't just have Macho Man's voice. Yeah. You have to see him too, because like if you just have his voice, you're like, who the fuck is that guy? Even though I know who Macho Man is, like as soon as he starts talking, I'm like, whoa, who talks like that?
They do the whole thing. He's got the robe, he's got the tie that gets taken off, he's got his hat, he removes the hat, and I love the little thing because it's still wrestling. They've cut his Undertaker shirt so you can see the gun show. It's like frayed and ripped up the side,
and they fray it like Charlie Brown style. So it looks like, you know, it's Halloweeny. Like they do it because it's like that's how Frankenstein's arms look or something like that.
Right.
By the way, I didn't realize until seeing this how much the Undertaker in this era at least looks like Jason Newsted.
Oh yeah,
it is like almost it's uncanny how much he looks like Jason Newsted.
And he's got the same bags under his eyes because they were on a worldwide tour. And the Black Album has just come out, you know.
Who was closer to dead?
So they start the match. He also looks completely different than Mean Mark. Like, aside from the fact that it's the same guy, they've done a lot of good work to, like, obscure that you might have seen him a few months ago. Nobody can get anything on The Undertaker at the start of the match. Everybody tries. Then Coco Beware tags in. And I love this little detail. Coco goes off the ropes and he goes to jump at the Undertaker. And instead of doing like a wrestling thing or whatever, he just moves out of the way of Coco Beware. And Coco Beware hits the top rope, clotheslines himself on the top rope. And then the Undertaker gives him one of the nastiest tombstones I've ever seen.
And this was before he was like squaring the guy up for the tombstone. He would have, instead of having like one leg on each side of his head, he would have both legs over his right shoulder. So it's like a cockeyed tombstone.
It's, the arm capture tombstone, where he's got the guy's arm, but he's also not facing the hard camera.
Yeah,
he doesn't know where the hard cam is, so he tombstones him, and it looks like he folds Coco like an accordion. On this thing.
If your asshole can see the hard camera can see your asshole.
So
look at this Jason Newsted looking motherfucker, by the
way. Dude, that is really, really good.
It's crazy, dude.
I wouldn't have even thought about that. He looks I was watching some video of him today on his podcast. He looks completely different than this man. Like, obviously he's much older now, but it's weird how much different he looks.
It's like his face has kind of like flattened out. Like he doesn't have he doesn't have features anymore. There's like his lips stick out a little bit in this, and it seems like his whole face is flat except for the nose nowadays. But I don't think it's surgery. I think he just like got old and he got hit in the face a lot, you know?
Yeah, it's less Newsted now. But he tombstones Coco, gets the pin. It's immediate impact. Like he destroys this guy, and Coco is not like a top tier baby face or anything, but he's been around a long time. He's beloved. It's like immediate. Oh, this guy is gonna be somebody with how easily he takes care of Coco Beware, and he orphaned Frankie the parrot, unfortunately, by killing Coco Beware with that tombstone.
Frankie will be fine. Frankie will get on back on his wings in no time.
He'll be free.
He
Survivor
probably
Series
hates Coco Beware.
Our Survivor Series problems start. We have a power slam elimination from Jim the Anvil Neidhart. Not a move that he uses to beat guys. He's a tag team wrestler.
Well, he gets one back because he gets eliminated by a clothesline.
Yeah, he gets eliminated by a well-placed Greg the Hammer a surgical strike by Greg the Hammer Valentine with a clothesline.
That's why they call him the Hammer.
That's why they call him. They get Dusty Rhodes in the ring with the Undertaker. Ain't no way Dusty's taking that tombstone. Backstage, brother, I'll tell you what you can do. You want to eliminate the Dream? You hit him with an axe handle off the top.
I'll tell you what, brother. You can get your arms around me. I'll let you tombstone me.
Yeah. I just saw what you did to Coco, brother. Ain't happening for the Dream, baby.
I was the champion of the world.
Yeah. You're talking about the heavyweight champion, brother. I invented the war games, brother. Which,
you son of a bitch.
Yeah. So Undertaker comes off the top rope with an axe handle, eliminates Dusty Rhodes, which again is a huge deal because Dusty is again not a main eventer in WWF, but everybody knows who Dusty Rhodes is.
He's still Dusty Rhodes, and it was actually a pretty sick because you know my problem with the axe handle, but like. Yeah. It was a cool maneuver because Undertaker gets on the corner with both of his feet, like how you get on the corner, one foot on each rope, and then he shifts left to both feet on one rope, and then jumps from there. Like it showed a little bit of athleticism. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, he knocks out Dusty, and the babyfaces have no idea what to do because the Undertaker's job in this match is to sell nothing and destroy guys. That's his whole deal.
He no-sold every single thing he got hit with.
Yeah. So then Dusty goes after Brother Love, who's cheap shotting him on the floor. Undertaker leaves the ring and gets counted out. So they don't want Undertaker to win this match, which I'll explain why in a second. But they also can't beat him. So like, how do you get rid of him? They sort of and how do you sell this sort of maniacal commitment to Brother Love or whatever. So I thought this was like a decently creative way to get this guy out of the match without hurting him at all.
I agree. I thought the same thing.
That Rowdy Piper, once he gets counted out, he goes, he's big, he's mean, but he's dumb. Which probably isn't great for your new mega heel that you're trying to build up.
Yeah, but I loved it, man. It was so funny. It was just it because you could hear a little bit of delight in Piper's voice when he said it, and also like it reminded me of Forrest Gump. It might be the dumbest son of a bitch alive, but he sure is fast. But it's like that's
to be moronical.
Yeah,
the dumbest motherfucker who ever lived.
Piper identified the only weakness he could find in this guy was that he might be dumb, like he might be just a zombie who doesn't think about what he does and think, you know what I mean? But it was a great line delivery.
And you can tell it's off the cuff. Like Piper's not being produced in that moment.
Yeah.
But so once the Undertaker got eliminated, did you watch the rest of this match?
I did watch the rest of the match, yes.
Okay.
That's why I think I enjoyed what I saw.
Brett pins Valentine with a small package, which is fine. That's like a baby face hope spot. And then there's like a refreshingly good 5-minute little match between Ted DiBiase and Bret the Hitman Hart that was really good.
Yeah. That's why I said I liked this. Is like they had a really good back and forth. DiBiase obviously bigger than Bret, but Bret's doing all of his like cheeky little like smart stuff to try to get him down and like doing a bunch of different types of small packages and like it was really good. And I'm going to step on your toes here. DiBiase wins, which I expected Bret to get the comeback and win this match, and he ended up getting pinned.
Yeah, he dedicated this match to his brother Dean, who had passed away the day before, and then loses.
Yeah,
because I can explain why in a second. But yeah, DiBiase wins. The best part of this, to me, is it's kind of an audition for Bret's first solo run, because by the April of next year, by April 91, he's a singles wrestler. So I think they always would put the tag guys that they wanted to do something with in with DiBiase. Like there's a really good Shawn Michaels DiBiase match when he's still in the Rockers. That's a singles match that's quite good. But my favorite part of this is Bret shoots DiBiase shoots Bret off, and DiBiase drops down, and Bret's supposed to jump over him, and Bret clips his leg on DiBiase while he's laying down, and they're like, oh, he blew his knee out.
Yeah.
Gosh dang it, he injured himself, he's hurt. And DiBiase goes to showboat and Brett tries to hit him with a like a small package.
Yeah.
And it's like that's Bret Hart wrestling. Like he faked an injury so he could then get an advantage and try to roll the guy up. I thought if you have him win right there, the crowd goes nuts. But the reason they don't is for this Survivor Series to add some stakes at the end of the night. If whatever team members survived, they had what was called the ultimate survival match between the sides. So like in the first match, the Ultimate Warrior survived, so he goes to the ultimate finale. And then DiBiase survived, he's going to the ultimate finale match. And so each match, whoever was left, but they don't want to have more baby faces than heels, so Brett can't win this match to make it to the ultimate finale.
What if did this happen where two guys survived from one team and made it to the end, or did they just make it one-on-one?
Rick Martel's entire team, which was Rick Martel, the Warlord, and Power and Glory, they survived. They beat Jake the Snake, who was blind, as you'll recall.
Oh, God damn it. Okay, yeah. Yeah.
So they're all with DiBiase. Hogan wins his match. Surprise, surprise. He wins his Survivor's match, and he's the only guy who survives. And then Tito Santana wins his survival match. So it's Tito, Ultimate Warrior, and Hogan at the end versus DiBiase and the Visionaries team. And then Warrior and Hogan. Unfortunately for Tito Santana, somebody's got to eat a fall in this thing.
Yeah.
And so he doesn't get to do it, but the Hogan and Warrior win and then celebrate profusely.
Was that the first time they had teamed up? Hogan
That was the first time they had teamed up. It was after WrestleMania 6. So they were building towards WrestleMania 7. And it was just like, let's have our two top baby faces. Hogan must pose at the end, but Warrior's the WWF champion, so we don't want to beat him.
Yeah.
In this thing, so they share credit. But that's why the Undertaker doesn't win. That's why Brett doesn't win once you're in those situations, I think. So Undertaker debut, I think it's awesome. He's intimidating. The gimmick looks awesome. It's cool. It instantly makes sense. Instantly what they're going for with this guy. He gets to kill two guys in it, and he looks really scary. So I think success out the gate as far as this gimmick goes.
Yeah, I wrote, they're putting him over. Like they really they put him straight through and had him wrestle some big guys. Like it's not like he just beat up a bunch of jobbers. Like they put some names under him, which is cool. And it's cool that they got him out of there. And let the Brett have so they accomplished multiple things in that match, and it ended up. I usually don't like Survivor Series matches. I liked this one.
Yeah, they don't normally have. Yeah, and they normally don't have as good of a segment as DiBiase and Bret Hart. So the Undertaker's first promo with the WWE with Mean Gene Okerlund is on December 23rd, 1990. We mostly have Brother Love doing the talking, and I know we are far apart in our enjoyment of the Brother Love gimmick. I think I think the idea of the gimmick is great, and there are aspects of it that I really like.
I don't like Brother Love.
Dude, he has a ring. He has a gaudy ring on every one of his fingers. Which is very funny to me.
I love the idea. I do. Yeah. I think the televangelist thing is really cool. I know he's supposed to be a heel. You're supposed to not like him. I just find him overly annoying. And I don't think he's particularly clever. He just yells. I think a better performer could have really done more with the gimmick, to be honest.
Or a more nuanced approach. Because I agree. The problem is it's very one note. And there's so much stuff you can pull from for that'll push buttons. So I think in theory the gimmick is good, but in practice it's not it doesn't reach the high standard that I hope that it would, as far as what it's trying to lampoon or whatever.
I love heels. This is the perfect type of heel. I would love this so much, but like I've never watched him and been like, man, I hope that guy keeps talking. Like,
yeah,
and
well, that's part of the problem. He does like 90% of the talking here. They plug the Royal Rumble, which is coming up. And so at the end, the Undertaker gets the line. They're really stuck on the bluing flesh
yeah,
of their opponent. But I thought he sounded really menacing when he's like, I'm going to embalm 29 other opponents. I'm going to steal the gold from their teeth, which is old timey cemetery shit. Like, I thought he did an okay job. With what they're asking for him, I thought that this was a good promo.
I was really worried at the beginning he was going to rhyme. That was my problem. Is he said the first two lines like a poem, and before I heard the subsequent lines, I wrote on my notes, please don't rhyme, because we really don't need the Undertaker doing poems. But yeah,
my name's the Undertaker, and I'm here to say,
yeah, it's just I thought he said something. He said bury, and I thought he was going to rhyme it with cemetery, and I was going to turn my television off. But like, yeah, I just think I think Brother Love was. I understand the like backroom reason to put them together. I think it was a really bad. I think I mean, and I know they obviously Bobby Heenan's better for everybody, but Bobby Heenan would have worked really well for him. Like I'm sure they had somebody in the back that could have been a better guy, because he needs a manager in this iteration for sure, and in a lot of iterations of the Undertaker, because the Undertaker can't talk a lot. That would take away from the mystique. But like,
yeah, and if he's too articulate, like there's a lot of management that goes into making the gimmick work. I thought his last line, "There's no resting in peace in the Undertaker cemetery." Thought that's a pretty good, like go home line paired with this, because I think this is like a retrospective, maybe where they're catching people up who haven't seen the Undertaker. There's a quick, there's a quick match from his first appearance at Madison Square Garden where he's facing Jimmy Snuka, and I'm assuming this is just from a house show loop. Maybe his first house show loop. They have him working with Snuka, who again is paired perfectly with him. Snuka is respected. Nobody believes he's a murderer at this point. That hasn't really come to light yet. And he's like been around a long time, and he doesn't get beat a lot. So,
did Jimmy Snuka ever not look 50 years old? Like every time I see him, he looks like a jacked 50-year-old.
Yeah, it might be the hair. The hair does a lot of the aging, I think, for him.
That could definitely be. Yeah, he has old woman hair. Like he has
fragile hair.
Like the kind of unstable old woman that like comes into your work every once in a while. You know what I'm talking about? But she smells like wine and cigarettes. But like he also has like a kind of an age weather. Is that a cat related situation?
No, I put a light up, but it didn't stick. So.
Goddamn.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to work on that. Yeah.
He has like an age weathered face too. Like, I know guys like this. Like it happens, but like he's just always looked straight up 50 years old to me.
Yeah, he looks exactly 50. He looks like a guy that wants to start a classic rock cover band with me. Like he's in that framework.
Well, I mean, he is 47 in this match, I think.
Yeah,
so
that's not too far off.
That's fair.
Undertaker takes a bump off a headbutt, but does the early version of the sit up. So they're adding small wrinkles to this thing. I think it's like he's getting suggestions and he's thinking of more ideas to sort of add to the undead gimmick. And the sit up is cool. Like that's a cool wrinkle to add, as far as like he doesn't ever sell to his knee or like use his hands to get up. It's always this sort of zombie sit up.
Yeah, you don't see the guy like roll around and grab his knee or like or wince in pain. He's down and he gets up very robotically. Yeah, that's good. They could have had the sit up from the beginning, but he never hit the ground in the first match. So
never took a bump. The end is cool. Snuka tries to body press him off the second rope, and he gets caught and immediately tombstoned. And Bobby Heenan's on commentary here, and he's putting the Undertaker over like $1 million when Snuka gets tombstone and pinned. Heenan's like, nobody does this. Nobody does this to Jimmy Snuka. Nobody is. I've never seen anybody beat him this decisively and without any trouble or whatever. Like, Heenan knows what his job is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He always did. I mean, the consummate professional.
Yeah. I just threw this in because of the Undertaker's opponent. I'm assuming this is also a house show promo, but there's a Brother Love promo where they're going to wrestle Tugboat.
Yeah.
So Brother Tugboat is the opponent. And I thought, like, there's a good formula here where Brother Love lays out the promo, and the tombstone will read, "Here lies Tugboat," and then the Undertaker gets to do the go home line. There's no rest in the Undertaker cemetery. Like,
well, and that's the tough thing, and that's the tough thing about this. The hard thing about this gimmick is one of the hard things, I guess, is the transition from the goofy gimmicks, because like the Undertaker is in a way a goofy gimmick because there's all the weird Mystique stuff that's going on with it, especially when Paul Bearer gets there, but you're going to have this Undertaker completely serious walk through, scariest thing you've ever seen, and his opponent is a man who thinks he's a boat.
Or a boat captain. I know he might think he's just in charge of the boat.
Yeah, I mean, the guy who drives the bus, you don't call him Bus,
Yeah, because if he were Captain Tugboat, that might be... That's a different. That doesn't make the gimmick any better, but at least it lets you know this man doesn't think that he's a tugboat. He does later think that he's a shockmaster, and it turns out
very briefly. Yeah. I think he came out of that spell pretty quickly.
Yeah, he's a tugboat. He's a typhoon. He's a shockmaster.
That's our guy Fred Ottman.
That's our big. That's we stand a legend. Fred Ottman.
I got his autograph right there.
So this next segment to me is what codifies the Undertaker. If they don't get this right, which luckily they do, I don't know that the package works, because like we're saying, Brother Love as his manager is like, it's a square it's a square peg in a round hole.
Yeah.
But on the Brother Love show, he is doing a promo where he's talking about because he has to spread his word of love or his message of love, he doesn't have the time necessary to dedicate to the Undertaker. Undertaker, very hands-on project. You got to make sure that you're in the room with him. You got to take him places he can't go by himself.
You got to manage the smell. There's a lot of things you got to do.
Yeah. So he brings out a guy whose services he's acquired for the Undertaker going forward, and out comes maybe one of the top 5 guys on this podcast, Percy Pringle, our friend Paul Bearer, coming out doing rubber faces right from the start.
Nobody's ever committed to a bit more than Percy Pringle. No. I mean, the name is. What was Percy Pringle, by the way? Is that like just his other persona?
Yeah, that was his other persona, who was kind of like a spoiled rich kid. He had blonde, like really blonde hair. And he was also a heel, but he was like, it was completely different as far as gimmicks go.
Look at this hold on. Look at this guy in the Air Force. I didn't know Paul Bearer was in the Air Force.
Hell yeah, dude. He looks like, that looks like a picture that in a movie or a TV show, you'd be like, this ghost is haunting me. the ghost of this man has come back.
It's the end of the movie in the 70s, or the end of a movie set in the 50s, and they're like, where did all these kids end up? Yeah. And then this is like the kind of dumb kid that everybody makes fun of. He ended up in the Air Force. Like, that is not a looker, man. Like, that is an unfortunate looking man,
The end of the Sandlot, if he's in the Sandlot, is this picture.
Yeah.
Squint, who got really into the 70s and we never saw him again? I can't remember.
I can't remember if it was Squints or yeah. I can't remember. Yeah. I can't remember if it was either one of those two. I feel like it was one of those two.
No, it was the other kid. It was
There's Timmy and Tommy Timmons.
Yeah, they started a bungee jumping business.
There's Bertram.
I think it's Bertram,
The
kid
pitcher?
with the glasses. And then
The
there,
kid with
but
glasses. That's Squint's dog. There's
no,
another kid with the glasses?
the other kid with glasses.
Well,
The tall one, who I think.
Oh, yeah. No, I think you're right about that, but I don't think isn't Bertram the pitcher? No, that's De Nunez.
Yeah,
so, I think you are right.
Yeah. So
I haven't seen the movie in a while.
He got really into the 70s and no one ever saw him again.
Yeah.
So anyway, but Brother Bearer comes out because they want to hold for this joke. And so he comes out and they go, "What?" Brother Love asks him, "What's your first name?" And the audio doesn't really catch. He answers too fast, but he just goes, "Paul." And so you can give credit to Road Warrior Hawk for this. When they were bringing in Percy to be his new manager, they were sitting backstage trying to think of a name, and Hawk was like, his name should be Paul Bear.
He was like, he pulled his head up from a table. You know what his name should be?
I fucking nailed it. I can't wait.
Shut the fuck up! I got a good idea.
I can't wait to Doomsday Device a jobber tonight.
I'm gonna kill somebody tonight, Vince.
Yeah, I'm gonna rip his goddamn head off. So this is it. Now we have, at least for this version of the Undertaker, we have the perfect combination of things. Paul Bearer is such an upgrade as a manager for the Undertaker character. It's not even close. Like this 100% the zombie taker, evil taker gimmick for me, because Paul Bearer makes so much more sense than Brother Love. Like as soon as you see them together, you're like, oh, that's it. That's the one.
This makes sense. Like you can't have the Undertaker come out with a guy in a white suit. You like, or like
Right.
a flamboyant or loud or like boisterous guy. It has to be another creepy guy or a straight or kind of a straight man that's afraid of him. Like you can't have like, my guy's gonna beat the shit out of you. Like you gotta either have a guy that is a pallbearer, or you gotta have a guy that's like, listen, I'm fucking terrified of this guy. Like I'll walk him to the ring and all those things, but he doesn't listen to me. He's like all that type of stuff. You know?
I found him, but I'm not in charge of him.
Exactly.
Or you go the Addams Family, which is like, this is the Addams Family version of it, where it's like, oh, these two guys fit because they're both creepazoids.
Yeah.
So we get a backstage promo at WrestleMania 7 with Regis Philbin. I thought this worked pretty well because Regis is doing all of this comedy. He comes, Undertaker and Paul Bearer come in, and he's trying to interview them and ask them questions about how excited are they for their first WrestleMania. And the Undertaker's got a measuring tape, and he's measuring Regis and calling out the numbers to Paul Bearer. And they won't answer anything he's doing, and the whole time Regis just doing shtick, where he's like, I played Dead Rooms before, but geez, you know.
Dude.
Like,
I popped for Reg, bro.
Yeah.
Like that's just a pro. Like this I used to watch Regis and Kelly when I would stay home sick, which was pretty often as a kid. And I always liked Regis. I think he's funny. He's like the funny guy who played the game. You know, he's like, you know, like Seacrest plays the game. He's not nearly as funny as Regis was, you know? And
Regis has got like old vaudeville instincts, you know.
He's got the timing. He's got like Mean Gene has the same thing, but Mean Gene went a different route and like the looks different and stuff like that. Like Regis is if Mean Gene became Ryan Seacrest. I think I nailed it.
There you go. So I thought this worked, and then we watched a little bit. They, for some reason, they didn't post the 4 minute 30 minute or 4 minute 30-second version of this Jimmy Snuka Undertaker match. Only the 2.5 minute version. So, Andrew, you'll forever not know what you missed in this match.
I wrote, what did Jimmy Snuka do to deserve the? Oh.
Yeah, they're quietly paying him back.
But did you the commentary on this match? So they're trying to put this guy over. This is their new big bad that eventually they know. Well, at least Vince knows is going to wrestle Hulk Hogan.
Yeah,
and they are the whole time just talking about the idea that Macho Man might propose to Miss Elizabeth that night.
That's a different match. But
Oh.
yes, we'll get to that.
Well, never mind.
This is
Which fucking match was that?
This is only Undertaker versus Snuka. It's only there.
Oh, it's a Warrior match.
Yeah, this is the start of the streak. So, this is the Undertaker's first WrestleMania. They clearly want to do the same finish they've been doing on the house shows, but when Snuka tries to springboard into the tombstone, he lands awkward, and Undertaker can't muscle him up to do the tombstone, so he has to set him down, hits him with a punch, and then picks him up to tombstone him.
Yeah.
Nice little touch from Jimmy Snuka. There's a leg shake after the tombstone, which I think that's good selling. I also love that anytime the Undertaker's getting hit, Paul Bearer sells it himself. When the Undertaker's getting hit, he'll turn away and like hold the urn closer to himself. That's an excellent detail.
Listen, they're connected. They're spiritually connected. You know,
that's
it's his dad.
That's we don't know that yet, but it is his dad.
They know that. At least Paul knows it, right?
Paul knows that. Undertaker thinks his family's dead at this point, but weird that they never brought up that they knew each other. The weird brother love wasn't like, I reached into the Undertaker's past and found his old buddy.
Yeah,
really playing that close to the vest.
It's very weird. Very weird that never came up.
Yeah. So yeah, this is really nothing except it gets the Undertaker over on TV. He gets to beat Snuka 1-0 at WrestleMania. Probably won't last long, but we at least got 1-0. Can't imagine it going.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah. Next we get a segment that, as a child, I don't mind telling you, had some pretty scarring effects on me. rough for the old 7-year-old Dustman.
I was wondering how you felt with this one.
Yeah,
I wonder if my brother remembers it.
They give Paul Bearer a segment called The Funeral Parlor, which is an interview segment on the show, a la Piper's Pit, the Flower Shop, any heel talk show that they've given over the years. This is the same thing, except it's dressed up like a mortuary or a funeral chapel. I don't know why, if you're a babyface, you would ever go on this goddamn show. Why would you agree to appear on the Funeral Parlor?
Any pub's good pub, bro. You're getting
yeah.
And you think you can beat his ass. You know what I mean? Like,
it's an equal time issue.
Yeah.
you have to go on there if the heel requests it. So of course, they bring out the Ultimate Warrior, who's supposed to be the next feud for the Undertaker starting after WrestleMania 7. They want to move to the Warrior and the Undertaker.
Quite a pop, by the way.
Yeah, he gets a big pop. They've created a custom casket for the Ultimate Warrior, which I would have to tell you would be very upsetting to me. If I went somewhere and they're like, guess what? This casket, and it just had pictures of me on it.
It's just a bunch of Jurassic Park logos.
Yeah. I'd take that personally. I'd be upset.
And spicy chicken sandwich wrappers.
Yeah.
It's got everything you love on here.
Yeah, I might actually be flattered. Like, oh, these guys really know me. That's really nice of them.
I got the spicy ones. I know you like the spicy ones because you like a treat.
They keep talking about how afraid the Ultimate Warrior is of the Undertaker, and Paul is doing a great job kind of egging him on, being like, I see the look of fear in your eyes, etc. And then the Ultimate Warrior says the bloodshot look in his eyes is not fear. And I was immediately like, that's cocaine. If it's bloodshot, it's because your blood pressure's through the roof right now.
It's steroids and sleep deprivation.
And you know this, Paul. They've just come out with something called Red Bull, Paul, and I got to tell you, that's got me jacked to the gills.
Listen to me, Paul. Fuck, you know what I mean?
And you said you would read my script and give me notes, and I haven't received any notes back.
Yeah, I'm bouncing off the walls, Paul. We got to get this going.
So this is incredible work. While Paul and Ultimate Warrior are facing off, in the background there's the Undertaker's, or there's the Ultimate Warrior's casket, and then there's just an old-timey wooden casket, And out of that wooden casket, the Undertaker fucking peekaboos
Yep.
from behind Ultimate Warrior. He's been here the whole time. Attacks the Ultimate Warrior from behind. Macho Man is on commentary. And at WrestleMania 7, Ultimate Warrior retired Macho Man. So Macho Man is not a fan of the Ultimate Warrior. So he's kind of, even though he's now supposed to be a babyface, encouraging the Undertaker to kick the shit out of the Ultimate Warrior.
Yeah. He's like, actually, I think this is kind of badass. Dude, I can't do the fucking Macho Man anymore.
Can't do it anymore.
I can't get there anymore. Actually, no, I can't do it. Can't do it.
So then the Undertaker beats up Warrior, puts him in the casket to overwhelming approval from Macho Man. He's like, throw his ass in there. It'll be good for him. Give him time to chill out.
I think I might propose to the Undertaker.
Yeah. Then they lock it and they just peace out. They're like Undertaker and Paul Bearer peace out, and then the commentary team starts really selling like this thing is airtight. Ultimate Warrior's been in it for 30 seconds, 45 seconds, 1 minute, and now Randy Savage is going, well, I wouldn't have locked him in it. I would have locked him in it for a second and then let him out. Obviously, I don't want the Ultimate Warrior to die.
I would have made a little jokey joke.
Yeah, a little rib among friends. I mean, look, one time in '87, you remember I was on the top rope. I came off on Ricky Steamboat. He and I got past it. It's just sometimes brothers got to do stuff to each other. You know,
you lock them in the casket for a little bit and you go to Fuddruckers.
Yeah. Then afterwards you apologize over mozzarella sticks and spinach artichoke chip. That's what brotherhood is. So while they're explaining how airtight and how crazy it is that he's locked in there, there appears to be a hole where air can get in pretty easily. At the end of that casket, there's obviously he's not locked in there with no oxygen, but on camera maybe
he's
in there show.
He's in there playing a Nintendo Switch. No, I think I think the hole you're referring to is the lock hole that they keep showing.
Maybe it looks like a pipe,
it's like on the viewer's side on the right side of the casket, right?
Where his feet would be.
And it's like a little like nickel-sized hole, right?
No. I'm seeing like a little like a hole, but I might be wrong. I might have
well, because the thing that Paul Bearer used to lock it is a little hole on the side right there, and they kept showing it on the camera because all these roadie hillbillies that look like they're in the pit crew of a dirt track racing league, they are like trying to crowbar the thing. There's a guy trying to drill a hole into it. I was thinking like Schwartzwelder, a guy just starts digging in the ground for no reason.
The whole clown car comes out with various accoutrements. They've got like a metal pipe to try to wedge it open. They've got a drill. Then my favorite part is there's a guy with a sledgehammer who's just banging the shit out of the side of this thing, and somebody has to come over and be like, "There's a guy in here."
Yeah,
like I know it's kayfabe, but maybe don't hit the casket as hard as you can. We're gonna get it open, dude. Did you not see on the format that we got to get this thing open?
Yeah, it's a lot, and I know you're not into Rowdy Piper as a guy on commentary, but he is selling the shit out of this, like. Yeah, because Macho Man is mostly just being like, he's having to walk. I'm actually okay with this.
Yeah, he's having to walk back some terrible comments,
Yeah, and but Piper, because Piper only yells, but this is appropriate. He's yelling like, "Get him out of there!" Like he's gonna die in there. That type of stuff. And Vince is probably thinking, "Man, I planned on returning that casket."
I can't believe this guy's going rogue with the sledge. one of my
it's like Hellwig's in there,
buddies.
Man.
Yeah, we got to get to this match, dude. So eventually they break it open finally, and Ultimate Warrior's passed out in there, and then because it is
nice
still
touch.
children's.
Nice touch though. The inside, like the inside lining of the casket, is all ripped to shreds because
Yeah.
Ultimate Warrior was fighting to get out.
Yeah, he didn't have the one punch of doom like Uma Thurman in Kill Bill. He couldn't get out.
He can't get out. He tried to karate chop the wall. He's down there doing this, trying to.
Yeah,
but he didn't have room to get a full extension on his arm thing to get the power of the Warriors.
Yeah, he's asking for the power of the Warriors, but they can't hear him because it's airtight.
The spirit. Warriors, get me the fuck out of here, Warriors! I'm kidding. I'm not, all that supernatural God stuff I talk. I'm an atheist, Warriors.
Yeah, I can't believe that I went to so many ceremonies and it turns out this shit doesn't do anything.
Yeah, I'm not sure I'm not really sure there is anything after life, Warriors. I'm freaking out in here.
I'm having a real existential crisis in here, Warriors.
Yeah.
I need some help.
I'm out of Coke.
But because it's a children's program, obviously they can't go off the air with a potential murder on their hands. So the Ultimate Warrior comes back to life. He gasps for breath right as they go to commercial break, and he's refusing the mouth-to-mouth from the guy that's trying to give him mouth-to-mouth that they clearly didn't talk about beforehand. It's like, you can do chest pumps all you want. Don't put your face near my face.
Warrior doesn't play that shit. Yeah. Read my blog in 20 years.
Yeah, later on the Warrior's going to have some ideas about this. Even if it's life-saving, let the Warrior die. So this really upset me when I was a kid. And almost got me banned from watching wrestling. My mom, not thrilled.
Really?
Yeah, that there's a dead man who puts people in caskets while they're alive.
Yeah, that's true. For Pentecostal mom really struggles with that idea. You were 6?
I was 7.
7 years old.
Yeah. No, I was still 6. That's right.
See, look, I know.
It was not the summer. Yeah.
So this is 1990.
This is 91, but it's in the spring.
I was about to turn 1. I was a
little baby boy,
a half a year old baby boy, probably in the hospital, bed next to Ultimate Warrior.
What's he in here for? Oh, his stomach's all messed up. What's he in for? Locked in a casket by his enemy. Oh,
similar. Why is he in a children's hospital?
He doesn't trust Big Pharma, dude. He knows they're trying to heal the kids.
He wants to be close to the warrior spirit. There's more warrior spirit in a children's hospital. He likes the giraffes on the walls.
He heard you get a lolly. Regardless, if you get a shot in your brain, you get a lolly. You get locked in a casket and take your oxygen in your brave. You get a lolly. So this is supposed
also
to be...
Children's Hospital turns out has better drugs.
Yeah. It's easier to sneak coke in here. They don't know where to. They don't check his heart.
They don't search you.
Yeah. This is supposed to be the big spring program. They do a bunch of house show matches. They introduce the casket match on house shows. They never have it on TV, as far as I'm aware. But on these house shows, the Undertaker loses a bunch of these. But we were going to watch one, and then I watched it, and it's really bad. So I decided to spare us from this, from that.
You said he lost a bunch of house shows?
Yeah, he loses the casket match on the house shows.
Why?
Got to send the people home happy.
I guess that's true, but it's like you're gonna the next week on TV. That's the crazy thing about house shows, especially back in the day. It's like the next week on TV, you're gonna say, "We've never seen this guy beat. He's never been moved by anybody. Like he's the unstoppable force." And then somebody's going to be like, man, I saw him in Chattanooga last week. He got his ass whooped.
Yeah. In Newark, the Warrior beat the shit out of him. That's all I got to say.
Beat the dog shit out of him, man.
Yeah,
he had 4 black eyes at the end of it.
I don't know that they were as hard promoting the undefeated streak. I think they mention it maybe, but it's more just like every time this guy's on TV, he's killing jobbers, and I don't think that it means as much back then, and they're selling it to kids, and I think kids are less interested in the detail
Yeah,
of being
that's
lied
probably
to,
the biggest point.
you know?
But what I'm saying is like on TV, he's no sold every move that's ever been hit on him. So like when he gets to his subsequent matches, like when whenever he gets wobbled at all on commentary, they're like, "Whoa, man, they made him move," you know. So it's like,
Yeah.
man, I saw him get his ass thrown into a fucking casket
Yeah. Well,
down in Trenton.
It was a little bit of like a switcheroo situation. He didn't get like beat into the casket. It was like Warrior was in the casket and then they flipped it. And then now Undertaker's in it and he gets slammed in it. And he probably he likes being in there. That's his whole deal.
He's like, "Oh, this is thank you."
Yeah. So really, really blocks out the noise for the old Taker. Get the wheels turning, you know.
Now I can plan my podcasting career.
Yeah, I hope in 30 years people want to hear from a podcast from me. So we watched a squash match for a very specific reason, which is not the fact that Macho Man and Rowdy Piper and Vince will not shut up about Macho Man proposing to Liz.
Dude, it's crazy. What show was this on?
This was on WWF Superstars, which is the syndicated show, because they don't have Monday Night Raw at this point. They have syndicated shows like here in California where we live. I got Wrestling Challenge on Sunday afternoon at 4, and I got WWF Superstars on Saturday at 11, and that's it. And then
was Wrestling Challenge also WWF?
It was also WWF. It was another 1-hour show that was just squash matches and angles and interviews. And then on Monday night, they had Primetime Wrestling, which was the precursor to Monday Night Raw, which had occasionally like a better match on it, but it was still mostly angles and squash matches. Like you're not seeing anybody face anybody on television that's worth a shit. You're watching that's house show. We're not giving Warrior versus Undertaker away on television.
It's just funny watching the Undertaker just completely dismantle this man and just like impose his will. Like it is so bizarre. If you dropped somebody into this and was like, okay, so you're gonna watch a guy called the Undertaker. He's a real badass guy. You're gonna watch him fight somebody, and they're like, okay, and the whole time Macho Man's like, I don't know, man, I'm really nervous. And they're talking about like, you should. I think you should propose to her. I think she'll say yes. Do you think she'll say yes? As this guy, this dead man, is just beating the dog shit out of this dude in the middle of the ring. You know,
straight up murdering this poor guy whose name I didn't even catch. They didn't give him the dignity of announcing his name, and they don't call a single move in this match. It's the Undertaker systematically destroying this poor guy. And Macho Man's going, well, I hear once you get married things are different, brother. What is she gonna move all her stuff into the house? Like, do we have one bank account that we both put money in, or do we have our own separate accounts and we each contribute? What's the move?
I don't know, man. I like watching what I like to watch on TV, man.
Yeah, I'm a big Eaton Shane guy.
I gotta split my future. I gotta split my future Slim Jim money with this broad.
Yeah. What if she doesn't like me? Remember all those years I treated her like shit, and then I got a different lady to be my manager for a while? I gotta tell you, some skeletons in the old Macho Man's closet.
And then every once in a while you'd hear Vince go, "Oh God," because
Undertaker's literally choking the shit out of this poor jobber that he's working. Two reasons.
What kind of napkins?
Do you think DJ or band or maybe both? Well, we can switch off.
I'm thinking about doing a chicken and a fish option. I think that guy's dead. I think that guy might have died right there in the ring.
Literally be dead. And I'm Jewish, but like culturally, not necessarily religiously. So would it be weird if I
I still smash the thing? She said she won't convert, but
yeah, that's I can work on her.
Yeah.
So 2 reasons to watch this match. 1, the Undertaker's care for how he tombstoned these jobbers. There's 0% care. He fucking spikes this dude right on his dome.
They're disposable, man.
It's incredible. There's actually a YouTube video. Weirdly, is WWF following our content? Who knows? They put out the full first year of Undertaker doing tombstones to people, which is a very funny video idea because it's just 12 minutes of him tombstoning jobbers, which I nearly included, but I didn't because guess what? Ultimately, it gets really repetitive. So
yeah, I was gonna say I don't know if I would have gotten through 12 minutes. Oh man, he's got him upside down again. Wow, right on his noggin,
he's
huh?
killing this guy, again.
Oh wait, this guy might kick out. Oh no,
Nope.
not gonna kick out of it.
The other thing was another.
There's only one guy that's going to be the first guy to kick out of that tombstone.
Somebody's got to kick out of it.
It's only going to be one guy.
Yep. So the other thing is they add another new wrinkle, which is Ricky Steamboat pitched to the Undertaker, "Hey, why don't you put guys in body bags after you beat them?" And that's extra.
Sounds like
menacing.
a Hawk ass idea too.
Yeah, but maybe Steamboat and Hawk worked it out on a car ride.
Yeah.
He's like, I already did the Paul Bearer thing. You pitch it to him now.
Yeah.
But Undertaker was like, that's sick. Nobody's done that. It definitely fits the gimmick. So after he tombstones this poor guy, he puts him in the body bag, and then just so you know, the guy's not dead. He's just very injured. He runs off the ropes and then giant stomps him for extra emphasis.
And they're, by the way, still talking about the proposal.
Yeah,
while they don't even mention the body bag.
This guy to bury him.
Yeah,
like we've seen him lock a guy in a casket. Where now he's putting a guy in a body bag. It is not so far of mind that he's going to take this guy out in the desert and bury him. And they're just like, they couldn't be less concerned.
He could have had him on an autopsy table, carving a Y into his chest.
Yep.
And they're still talking about, oh, I don't know, man. What if she says no? And and then Vince goes, oh, look at that. That's all he says.
Yeah. I don't like the idea of sides, brother. I think that separates us and we're coming together. I don't think there should be a groom side and a bride side. It's everybody's family. You know what I mean?
Do we, like an open bar situation? How do we do that?
Is it cash bar anyway? Wait, is that a bone saw? Undertaker did say eventually this became a rib on him because the guy has to sell that he's dead. He's in the body bag. Then the Undertaker, because the Undertaker can't be seen to struggle doing anything, has to carry this dead weight of this guy now backstage before he can let the guy out. So he's got to basically squat, and you never know who you're working because it's all jobbers. So this guy's pretty thin. He's fit, but he's not big. But he's it could be a 200-pound guy, it could be a 350-pound guy, and no matter what, I got to get that fucking dude over my shoulder and take him backstage.
Interesting. They came up with this after the tugboat match, by the way.
Yeah. So I think they got rid of this pretty quickly. Also, tough for old Kathy. Undertaker was on a lot of landmines with my mom as far as letting me watch the demonic activities of the Undertaker.
That probably they probably heard about that. They probably knowing the company at the time and stuff. They were probably had their ear to the ground about okay, we want to make some kids cry every once in a while,
right, but
we also don't want to get to the point where their parents stop allowing them to watch the show. That's for 6 years from now, you know?
Well, and now I'm 7, I think, but what am I supposed to think? This guy's dead. And now they're putting him in a body bag.
You don't put a live guy in a body bag.
Yeah, there's no good way this ends for that guy. So, yeah. Next, I added this match because this actually goes against the formula. We're now in the fall. We're gearing up towards Undertaker versus Hogan. So on Wrestling Challenge, they have the Undertaker versus Texas Tornado Kerry Von Erich. We stand a legend. We love the Texas Tornado, but this is a
huge
big,
Kerry Von Erich fans.
This is a big, not pay-per-view. Hey, we're gonna have a quality match on TV. This was originally supposed to be Ricky Steamboat, but whenever he heard he was going to get squashed like a bug, Steamboat was like, "Nah, I'm okay."
Yeah,
and he peaced out.
Call the one-footed guy.
Yeah. So they've spent all of this time in this legwork. They've paved this whole road of this is the Texas Tornado. We don't call him Kerry Von Erich. We don't acknowledge the Von Erich family. or his history in wrestling. He's been the NWA champion. None of that. This guy, Texas Tornado. And it made me laugh so hard because when he comes out, God bless him, the Texas Tornado is wearing a robe that is bedazzled that says Carry on the back.
It says Carry on the back. Oh, huge.
Just
yeah.
right on the back of it.
And the commentary team talks a little bit about his accolades. They're like, well, let's see what he does against the guy who's done so much in wrestling and stuff like that.
Yeah,
they didn't name anything specifically, of course, but like they said a couple things. And I did, by the way, notice that Carey was hobbling a little bit. This is the first time as the Texas Tornado that I noticed. Like, I wouldn't have ever been like, hey, that guy might have a fake foot. But I was like, that guy's walking funny.
Well, and he still looks really great.
He looks great. Yeah.
Like his upper body's still really developed, and you can't really tell unless you know.
No.
He might have a little bit of a limp, but maybe that's just an idiosyncrasy as a wrestler. You know what I mean? Like you wouldn't think, oh, this guy was in a motorcycle accident and they had to cut off part of his foot.
No, it was completely like 100%. It was because I noticed, and it was just like one or two moments when he's walking after Paul Bearer, you know?
Yeah. So they do some gaga here. The Carey gets some offense. He hits the discus punch on Undertaker, who flips him over the top rope, but he lands on his feet, which is cool. Yeah. and continues to sell the fact that like you can't hurt this guy. You can give him your biggest move and he might slightly react to it. But then Carey goes to like throw the body bag. He's menacing Paul Bearer, and then he throws the body bag up the aisleway because no way you're putting the goddamn Texas Tornado in the body bag. And then Undertaker like chokes him out, hits a flying clothesline on him, and then tombstones him. Without pomp and circumstance. There's not a lot of back and forth here. I will say, lighter tombstone for Kerry Von Erich that he was doing to those jobbers.
He's a legend, dog. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but this is like, now we are getting somewhere where it's like he completely squashed the Texas Tornado, who was the Intercontinental Champion. He had been tied to Warrior as like a tag partner and like a guy that they would do matches together. So like he's above Coco and even Dusty in WWF and like Snuka. He's above all those guys.
Oh, I didn't know that.
This is not a competitive match at all. He destroys Carey, which is a big deal at the time. We go to our second funeral parlor segment, where now we're going into the Gravest Challenge. The match has been signed for Survivor Series 1991. Hogan versus Undertaker for the WWF title. Again, I beg the question, why would Hulk Hogan go on this show? If after you've seen him attack the Ultimate Warrior from behind and throw him into a casket, why would you agree to go on this show?
What I would tell you is, I think this is the perfect type of program for Hulk Hogan because he's wrestling a guy that all the kids in the crowd are scared of, right? Yeah. So Hulk is going to take the opportunity to come out and tell the person that he's supposed to be afraid of that he's not afraid of him. Sure. So like, I think that works for Hulk. But yeah, 100%, you're right. For most of the guys, like, hey, and also Undertaker's in that big wooden casket. Just so you know.
Yeah. This is or is it possibly a hubris of man situation?
Did the crowd see Undertaker walk out and get into that casket, or did they roll the casket out with Undertaker in it?
I bet you that they wheeled it out. Yeah, like they built the set, and he's just in it, watching an 8-inch television, watching the first season of Twin Peaks, getting ideas for his gimmick. Also, wear pants, Terry. He comes out in a t-shirt and trunks, which has never struck me as weird for Hulk Hogan because that's what he wrestles in, except that he's not wrestling. He's just coming out to do a promo. But like, you couldn't put pants on for this.
If you stay ready, you don't got to get ready, Dusty.
I suppose that's true. I don't have the mind of a champion
Well, and that's the thing. We used to talk about how when I was watching in the early 2000s, I knew if Stone Cold was going to get in a fight because he had his knee braces on. Like he would do segments without the knee braces on, but then he would do segments that weren't supposed to be fight segments, but he'd come out with his knee braces on. I'd be like, oh shoot, somebody's going to come out and fight Stone Cold right now.
Yeah, that's a good point. Maybe he accepted the funeral parlor, but maybe his thing was, I won't wear pants. I refuse pants.
Yeah.
If I got to go into the lion's den, I want to not be restricted of my movements.
Yeah, there's no dress code at this funeral parlor. That would be weird to go to a funeral parlor in trunks. Otherwise,
so he comes out, he's cutting his promo, and then Ric Flair arrives because Ric Flair has just debuted in the WWF as the quote unquote real world heavyweight champion. So Hogan's out in his trunks. Ric Flair comes out in his robe because, like you said, the dress code for this funeral parlor is very lax. They start cutting a promo on each other, which isn't even the match they're promoting. They're like, this is the other match in the future that they're promoting. And Flair keeps calling Hogan Big Man, which is very funny to me.
Yeah.
And then
I've had to hear you talk about those 24-inch pythons for too long.
Here's the problem, big man. So, like clockwork, like you said, always on time. From behind Hulk Hogan, the Undertaker fucking peekaboos out of the casket again. That's his favorite thing to do. Is lie in wait. He attacks Hogan with the urn, bashes him in the head, and then Flair and Taker are beating up Hogan, and Savage and Piper on commentary run over to help Hulk Hogan. The Piper hits Flair with a chair shot, gets rid of him. He goes to hit Hogan, or he goes to hit Undertaker with a chair shot. Undertaker no-sells it, which is a nice detail.
If you're a wrestler, in the history of wrestling, and you need two riders, you need two guys to be on your team that you can count on to come help you if you're in trouble. Are you picking anybody other than Roddy Piper and Randy Savage?
I mean, their track record speaks for itself.
They'll get on a plane for you, dog. Like those guys ride for their boys.
Well, and they don't call him even keel Piper. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the man is rowdy.
Yeah, he's coming in, and Savage will jump off a giant cage for you. He's always down.
If Piper's fighting Undertaker and Savage is just looking for something to climb.
he needs a spot to get it. Yeah, he's like a big cat. He's got to get up high. So then they try to do a little bit of the Hogan Andre thing. So Hogan's down. Undertaker no-sells the chair shot. So now the baby faces have kind of backed up, and he grabs Hogan's chain that has the crucifix on it and rips it. And then he looks at his palm as though the power of Christ has surged through the thing, and he like gives a puzzled look, and he throws it down like it burned his hand.
Yeah.
Or at least that's what I'm getting. The commentary doesn't walk that mile for you, but that's what he's selling, is he's the devil and he's touched a holy artifact that's around the Hulkster's neck.
Which is interesting because his manager used to be a pastor.
Yeah. and Hulk Hogan, as we know, is a liar. So and
that's just a T on his necklace. That's not a cross, brother.
Yeah, that's one of the 10. And the Hulkster's right in there. We're about to talk about one of his big classic lies, which is very funny.
We have we've seen Hulk lose his necklace twice.
Yeah.
Are these the two big ones? Is there another Hulk loses his necklace angle that you can think of?
They tried to do it in remember they did it in WCW. The Giant snatches that shit. The Dungeon of Doom. But these are, whenever it still meant something and he wasn't fighting the Yeti, these are the ones, you know. You would think the Undertaker would know that holy relics are his enemy, or he was like, Hogan's full of shit. There's no real power in this thing, and he was surprised by it.
I've seen him backstage, brother. He's a
Maybe it was cold.
He's on Sundays only.
He thought it would be hot, and it turned out it's not hot, and that's why he had to drop it. Yeah. Survivor Series promos coming up. I always loved these little interstitials. These are pretty normal, but Hulk Hogan, of course, has to say that the 24-inch pythons are loaded with ammunition. Which doesn't really make any sense.
He's got bullets in him.
War metaphors for Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
And then,
he's in the Lord's army, Dusty.
That's I forgot. We talked about that last time.
Yeah, shooting the artillery.
And then Paul Bearer cuts a way better promo than Brother Love about the hearse pulling up to the back of the Joe Louis Arena, breaking the hearts of the little Hulkamaniacs. Hulkamania is going to be dead. I thought this was pretty good. Oh, Hogan says that when he won the WWF title 1984, he made a promise to fear no man or evil. Since that's a really widely encompassing spectrum of things to promise. They brought him into a room. There was a dude with a goat head, and they're like, "You have to promise."
But there's a negotiation. He's like, "Dude, I think tigers are scary as shit." He's like, "The guy's like, you can fear tigers. Like,
he's looking.
Tigers aren't
list.
man or evil."
Yeah.
He's like, what about I just. What, go ahead.
What about snakes? Snakes are evil. Got to be afraid of snakes. You know what? I am actually afraid of snakes.
They are pretty scary, brother.
Yeah.
How about flying?
No, not on the list.
No, you can go ahead and thank God, brother. I am right terrified of flying. Okay, so I could be afraid of tigers, flying, and women. Okay.
Yeah. And also telling the truth under oath. That's not on there, right? Because that one's going to come up.
How about fidelity?
Yeah, that one's going to come up. What do I got to be afraid of? Snakes. Actually, I got to not be afraid of snakes. He's afraid of no evil.
Can't be afraid of snakes. Yeah.
Can't be afraid of snakes. Can't be afraid of the literal devil. Let's see what else is out there.
I can't be afraid of just any man. Like, I can't be afraid of Vince. I can't be afraid of the president.
No. What if he has like 6 guns? No, still no. All right.
Nope. Well, actually, his lawyer. Actually, he can be afraid of the guns.
Yeah, clear delineation.
He can't be afraid of the man. He has to be afraid of the guns.
Yeah. If you can get him to drop the guns, you can fist fight that guy. Not be afraid of him.
I've always said it, brother. Guns aren't evil. People are. You know what I mean?
That's right. and I'll get that tattooed on my back next.
Yeah.
Anyway, shake the hand of the guy in the goat hat and the guy in the goat mask. All right.
All right.
Now I'm the champ. So we're at Survivor Series 1991. This is the culmination of the year of the Undertaker. This is the first non-Survivor Series match to happen on the Survivor Series. Like I said, at this point, they know the gimmick is kind of running thin. So they're like, why don't we put a WWF title match on this thing that should boost up the numbers, as it were.
Yeah.
It's at the Joe Louis Arena, November 27th, 1991, 17,500 people. That's a pretty good house. They keep calling it the gravest challenge. Biggest challenge of Hulk Hogan's career. Little punny.
It's good. It's good. Yeah, it's good. It's just like the way that you use grave in that sense, like you can't be gravist, like, but grave is also anyway.
Yeah. Undertaker comes out. Hogan comes out. There is a Hulk Hogan impersonator in the crowd. I was obsessed with watching this guy during the match. Pretty good impersonation.
He's a grown man. He's in the front row. He's dressed head to toe in exactly like Hulk Hogan. And multiple times during this match, he gets up to try to like get the crowd to Tinkerbell Hulk Hogan back to energy. You know what I mean?
Yeah. While the Undertaker is doing his primary offensive weapon, which is choking Hulk Hogan. So
this was So Undertaker had figured out the cool way to choke something, like the slap choke, like where he reaches back and grabs the neck, like it's really theatrical. He hadn't figured out the choke slam yet. My question is, has anybody done the choke slam at this point in wrestling? Do you know?
I do not believe that the choke slam was a finish at this point. There might have been a guy or two.
People have done it.
I don't know that anybody had done it. There might have been a guy or two on accident. Maybe Sid Vicious might have done it because he later does a choke slam, but I don't think that is like in the lexicon of moves at this point.
Okay.
Like you said, Undertaker will sometimes do the thing where he goozles the guy and then kind of slams him, but he goes down with him, like, and keeps choking him. It's not the choke slam.
Yeah, so basically, there's a guy named King Kong Kashi in the 50s who is regarded as the first known wrestler to regularly perform a maneuver recognizable as a choke slam, a lifting choke style throw decades before it became a mainstream finisher. But I don't know. I doubt it looked like what it is. I bet he just grabbed guys and threw them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then apparently the Big Show had it before the Undertaker had it.
No, I think Undertaker's doing it in the mid. Well, I don't know. Maybe because Big Show is 95. Wouldn't have been before that. Can the Undertaker have not done a choke slam before 1995?
Try to figure this shit out, dude.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Keep going.
My favorite thing about this, as always, is Bobby Heenan's commentary on Hulk Hogan matches. There's a part of the match where Hogan tries to body slam the Undertaker, but he can't, and Heenan immediately yells, "Hulkamania is dead."
Yeah,
he cannot body slam this man. Therefore, Hulkamania is ruined.
Hogan, Heenan was so good during this. By the way, Sid Vicious, 1991.
Yeah,
looks like so. Yeah, it looks like you kind of nailed that one. Yeah, he kept going. Hulkamania is dead, Monsoon. Like it's just, he's just so eager to declare Hulkamania dead.
And they do the thing where they slam each other's shoulders into each other, and then Hogan bails to the floor, and Heenan goes, "Go to the floor, sign of a coward."
Yeah.
So he just hates Hulk Hogan so much, and it's great. This is a rare match where you get to see like Paul Bearer's interference as a heel manager for the Undertaker.
Yeah.
Because most of the run, their baby faces together. And I thought he's really good as that kind of interfering manager. Hogan hits a body slam, finally, in this match while Ric Flair runs down to the ring. And then Hogan and Flair have a whole thing. And while that's going on, Undertaker scoops up Hulk Hogan, and Ric Flair slides in the steel chair. Undertaker tombstones Hogan on the chair, and we have a new WWF champion.
Yeah, but we missed a couple. First of all, back to the Paul Bearer thing. When Paul Bearer would interfere, Bobby Heenan would act like his monitor cut out.
Oh yeah.
So he's like, my monitor cut out. What happened? And then they did it again. And he's like, man, boy, this monitor just keeps cutting in and out. But that's the second tombstone that Hulk eats in this match.
Yeah.
He tombstones Hulk earlier, and so what we were talking about earlier in the episode is everybody died to the tombstone. Like, I don't know if that was the case at the house shows or whatever, but whatever we watched, you didn't get out of the tombstone. You got tombstone, it ended the match.
Yeah.
Surprise, surprise. Hulk Hogan not only gets out of the tombstone, he doesn't even have to kick out because he no-sells the tombstone. He hulks up out of the tombstone.
You didn't know this, but I was going to wait to bring that point up. No, you're fine. You normally would go in chronological order. So, Undertaker wins the WWF title. Crowd is shocked. As always, WWF does a great job finding people weeping in the audience. Little kids are devastated that the Undertaker
crying,
is the WWF champion. I also like that the Undertaker grabs the belt like it's nothing, like it's kind of a piece of shit, and he just walks out with it.
See, I always thought either the Undertaker, I think the Undertaker shouldn't care about the belt. Like Paul Bearer, like the Undertaker just walks away and Paul Bearer goes and gets the belt and scurries away, or they just leave the belt and like he's the champion, but he refuses to have anything to do with the belt. But they don't want.
He doesn't
like
even
that
understand it. It's a material possession. He doesn't
exactly
need it for. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Having Paul Bearer carry it is a smart idea. That would have been good. But so Hogan's in the ring. He's paralyzed. He's having a tough time. They bring out a bunch of dudes. He's in the ring a long time. You can hear it. You can see him talking to people. Then he gets up slowly and he walks to the back, but he's holding his neck. He's got guys around him walking with him. So earlier in the day, Hogan arrives. Hogan arrives early and he wants to talk to the Undertaker. And he's like, "Hey, can we talk in the locker room? Can we talk in the shower?" And that's always like a bad sign for wrestling because they killed Bruiser Brody in the shower. And it's like, I guess most of the time when there's going to be a fight, it's in that kind of area, right? So the Undertaker's like, what the hell's going on? They've already told him he's going over. So he's winning the WWF Championship 1 year into his career. He's got this gimmick that's gangbusters, all this stuff. Hogan tells him, like, hey, man, I'm really worried about taking the tombstone. Like, I'll put you over. It's good. It's great. Whatever. I have no problem with that. I'm worried because I have a bad neck. And Undertaker is like, don't worry about it, dude. I've got you like 10 ways from Sunday. Your head will never touch. It's going to be easy as pie, right? So they get to the final tombstone, and he tombstones Hogan. And the Undertaker says, as soon as Taker dropped to his knees, Hogan goes, you got me, brother. And Undertaker is like, fuck. Oh, I paralyzed Hulk Hogan. Like the golden goose. I hurt this guy. And all of this processing is happening while he's winning the WWF Championship. He's flown his family in to like watch him win this title. And he's like, I'm going to get fired. I can't fuck up the money. And I told this guy I wasn't going to hurt him.
Especially after he warned him.
He's like,
after Hulk was like, dude, I think something bad might happen here. And he's like, no, dude, you're good.
So he's backstage. He goes backstage. Hogan is laying down in Vince's office, like supine. And he's like, call my family, call my kids. I need to, to speak to him. And Undertaker goes to see him, and he's like, I'm so sorry. Blah, blah, blah. Then EMTs come in. So then Undertaker has to kayfabe, and he goes behind the like a partition or something. And they're like, can you feel your arms and your legs? And he's like, it's burning up in my traps and my arms and everything. And Undertaker's like, God damn it, dude.
I know where this is going, and this sucks.
Hogan leaves. He's in the ambulance. He has them take him in an ambulance to the hospital for this. And backstage, I guess Shane McMahon walks out and sees the Undertaker and starts shaking his head. And he's like, I know, dude. And he goes, no, he's fine. his head. And he's like, Undertaker in retelling the story is like, I couldn't hear it. I couldn't hear him telling me that. A bunch of people came up to me and they're like, his head never touched, dude. It was perfect. Like, he's not injured. And Undertaker's like, what am I going to do? So then there's a rematch here. So basically what happens is the Undertaker wins, but because there's interference, Jack Tunney, the president, quote unquote, of WWF, has to be like, hey, I can't reverse the referee's decision. That's final, but I can order a rematch. And luckily, turns out we want to do a new pay-per-view concept where we see if people will buy a pay-per-view a week later. So this Tuesday in Texas, there's a rematch between Hulk Hogan and The Undertaker for the WWF title.
So they had a pay-per-view on a Tuesday?
They had a pay-per-view on Wednesday, Survivor Series, the next Tuesday, because they wanted to try to establish Tuesday as a pay-per-view. So Survivor Series is all messed up. You have this match where they give you a finish, but they immediately rematch it. So you want to see the rematch, you got to do this Tuesday in Texas. This is also the same time that they do the Savage Jake Roberts snake angle where so originally Jake is supposed to be on a Survivor Series team with IRS and the Natural Disasters versus Macho Man, Big Boss Man, and the Legion of Doom. Because of the snake angle, on the pay-per-view, once you've already paid for Survivor Series, they announce Jake the Snake and Randy Savage will not be on this pay-per-view. They will not be on these teams. It's going to be a 3-on-3 match. Macho Man and Jake the Snake aren't even at this fucking show. You don't even get to see them. But Tuesday in Texas, guess what? You can watch them face each other. So they bait and switch the audience. Because they want to try to establish Tuesday as another night they can run pay-per-view. So they put those two big matches on it, and then I think there's a Bret Hart IC title defense. It's like him versus Skinner or something on this show. But they completely screw the people that paid for Survivor Series over. Um, that Jack Tunney announcement also, he'd made an announcement earlier in the night that he can't do anything about the fact that Jake the Snake attacked Randy Savage with a snake, but he can now ban all reptiles from ringside. Going forward, this administration will not stand for snakes ringside.
There's going to be a big conversation over what's a reptile. Like,
Yeah.
Bobby Heenan missed an opportunity when they came back from saying, Monsoon, are you a little upset that you're not allowed to ringside anymore?
Nice. That
would have been a good one. That would have been a good one.
So they get to this Tuesday in Texas, and now they've got playback for the Undertaker. He can watch the Tombstone, and if you watch this, Hulk Hogan's head is off the mat by a substantial amount. His head never comes near hitting the mat on this thing. The only thing, if you want to be generous to noted liar and manipulator Hulk Hogan, is that the Tombstone could have jarred his neck just from the impact, even though he didn't land on his head. And I would say that would make a lot of sense, except 2 minutes earlier in that Survivor Series match, he took a Tombstone and got right back up.
And just completely was the healthiest man in the room.
100% fine. So that's the first year of the Undertaker, to put a bow on it.
And they said, by the way, I've heard stories that Hulk used to pretend to get hurt by things just so he could have something on somebody.
Oh yeah, it's a way to kind of knock a dude down. And apparently Undertaker went to him after that and was like, "Hey,
hey, stupid."
He's like, and so Hulk Hogan told him, "Yeah, bro, I didn't hit my head, but you had me too good. You protected me too much, and whatever you brought me down, it shook my neck, and that injured it. You did too good a job of not dropping me on my head, and it still hurt my neck. And then
it would have been better on the head, brother. I got to be honest with you. I hate to say this.
The old coconut of the Hulkster is foolproof. So,
yeah, I'm also half Samoan. You didn't know that?
So years later, Hogan is in a lawsuit with like a chiropractic office who did some adjustments to his neck. And in his book, he wrote the Undertaker had messed his neck up. So they bring the book out as deposition and are like, is this true? Did you injure your neck years ago based from a match with the Undertaker and not from the thing we did to you?
Oh, buddy. Oh, I've really painted myself into a corner here, brother.
It's like the hubris of the old Hulkster came back on him. And he completely, this sounds familiar. He's like, did I write that? And they're like, it's in this book. And he's like, huh. Well, I must have wrote it. I don't remember writing it.
I was on pills.
Yeah.
Does that work?
Everything must have been fine. I'll take a cognitive test right now.
Hold on real quick. Am I allowed to be afraid of lawsuits?
You're supposed to be very afraid of lawsuits. Although they are brought to you by men, the lawsuit is a separate entity.
Lawsuits are evil.
So at this Tuesday in Texas, Hogan beats The Undertaker, of course. But it's through nefarious means. He throws ashes from the urn in Undertaker's eye, and Schoolboy pins him to win the belt.
You can hit this guy with every move you have. Yeah. You throw some ashes in his face, you can literally small package him.
Yeah. And Jack Tunney was supposed to be at the ring side area to prevent any chicanery, and when you know, he got knocked over. So because of that, I wish you would watch this match because I had a really good analogy where
I did watch the match.
Hulk Hogan, Matt Hughes is the Undertaker from one side of the ring to the other, much a la Matt Hughes and Frank Trigg. Maybe the most athletic thing Hulk Hogan's ever done. So Hogan wins the belt, but because there is chicanery, Jack Tunney the next week announces that the belt has to be vacated. Again, this man who's in charge of WWF is powerless to overturn a referee's decision.
Dude, have you ever tried to reason with Earl Hebner?
Yeah, or his brother Dave, who you can't tell apart.
There's two of them.
Yeah, but he vacates the belt, so he doesn't have the power to overturn the match, but he does have the power to vacate the title. abuse of power. But they vacate the belt so that a new champion will be crowned at Royal Rumble, and Hogan and Undertaker get preferential draws where they can draw between the numbers of 20 and 30 because they both have a claim to the championship. So that is done so that Ric Flair can win the WWF title without having to beat Hulk Hogan or the Undertaker.
Did a bunch of guys have to throw Taker over the rope?
I think Hogan eliminates him, but I think it's like he clotheslines him over the top, but he lands on the floor
lands on his feet.
Yeah, but he gets knocked out. And then he turns babyface pretty soon after this because turns out the Undertaker pretty cool.
Because people like him. Yeah, because during the even the was it the Hulk match? There was one match where the Undertaker's opponent gets out of the ring, and there's people in the front row thumbs downing his opponent. And I'm like, oh man, some people like the dead man.
Turns out if you give a guy a really cool finishing move and he just dominates people, at some point that guy's going to turn babyface. But like, I think this is one of the best examples. The reason we watched this, that I wanted to look at it, is like, this is one of the best examples of like smashing a dude over to me. They gave the Undertaker so much stuff. And like really filled out the program. Like his heel manager has a segment. He's almost as soon as he comes in, he's in the main event picture with Warrior and Hogan, and like he's just beating guys and doing cool stuff with his gimmick. The body bag, the zombie sit up, the tombstone is an amazing finisher. Like, I think this is like a hit the ground running, one of the best gimmicks ever.
I wonder how it felt for him. How old is he at this time?
Pretty young, at the time he wins this belt, he's the youngest WWF champion in history.
He was born in 1965, so he's 25, 26 years old. The crazy thing about it is, like, imagine that. Like, you get into wrestling, you finally get to WWE, they give you this idea, this gimmick that they had already because they believe in you, and then pretty quickly after, you're in a melee with Flair, Hogan, Piper, and Macho Man. You know what I mean? It's like, it's just crazy. The year before,
you were Mean Mark Callis in the mid card of WCW.
Yeah. This was wild. And they picked the right guy. I mean, he stood the test of time. He was around till like freaking two or 3 years ago. So,
well, and it is also funny to see bare armed, non-tattooed Undertaker. And then he gets his first tattoo, which is the Grim Reaper by his wrist. And they make like a huge deal of that as well. Like, it's but he keeps, so then when he turns babyface, he can do more stuff. Like, it's much less zombie Undertaker once he's a babyface, because like now he can start pulling out cool moves because you want to cheer this guy. He couldn't do nearly as much. And then he's mired, unfortunately, for years against like other giant monsters who he can't really do anything with. But like he Giant Gonzalez and him are not matches for the ages. That was the cat. Fucking hell. So that's as good a time as any. Undertaker year one, thumbs up. Good for the Undertaker.
Yeah, they did a great job, man. They made a lot of really good decisions in a period where, you know, the wrestling was a lot of times was goofy and a lot of times was like, you know, nonsensical in certain ways and stuff like that. Like, this was really well executed. You could tell there were some good minds behind this. Like you said, like multiple guys who were around for a long time helped to come up with different parts of his gimmick. Like, you know, we made fun of Hawk, but Hawk's like a pro's pro. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, he just a body.
How to get a monster over, because
he was just a bouncer who became a wrestler. But he at that point had already been around for a long time. Like you said, he knows how to get a monster over. Like, it was just tailor-made to succeed, and it did.
Yeah. Well, and like you said, in the because they had this sitting for a while and they could never find the right guy. Because in the hands of the wrong guy, this gimmick is terrible. Like, there's such a razor thin.
You put the one man gang in the
right. Like, there's such a razor thin margin between too silly and just silly, like just silly enough you
Yeah.
know, or too like just serious enough where you kind of forgive what you could see as a lot of silly things. You know?
And Percy Pringle, man, getting freaking
Yeah.
getting Paul Bearer in there to do his thing. Like Bearer was goofy. He made a lot of stupid faces and stuff like that, but he committed hard to the bit. He was creepy. Did he creep you out, Paul
Yeah,
Bearer,
as a kid, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and there was like, so on the old Coliseum home videos is when you'd also see like, you'd see house show matches that they would then record new commentary for. So you'd see stars wrestle each other, but they would have all these weird segments. We watched one where Bobby Heenan and Mean Gene went golfing.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
as interstitials. They had one where they went to Paul Bearer's house and he has all the creepy, macabre, weird bullshit, you know, and it's like I wasn't allowed to watch that part of the tape because it was too creepy and it would like freak me out. You know, I thought there was a creepy house in the town I lived in. I was like, that's where the Undertaker lives. If he lives anywhere, that's where he lives. So it really worked as in terms of being like a scary gimmick that was still palatable to kids, but he is intimidating. It's a big dude, you know, getting to smash over on all these jobbers and stuff. So
Yeah.
I give it like a 10 out of 10. I give the initial gimmick like an 8 out of 10, like we talked about, because I think Brother Love hurts the overall gimmick, but they pretty quickly course correct. And then the Zombie Taker is like a 10 out of 10 as a heel.
Yeah, thank God they course corrected, man, because I go 7.5, 7 with Brother Love. It's just such a weird mix, and he takes over everything. And like when Brother Love's talking, it's not a creepy thing anymore. But when Paul Bearer is talking, it is a whole creepy segment. It just so yeah. Props to them
and
for figuring that out.
then the Undertaker has a thing to hide in. He couldn't have hidden on the Brother Love show and popped out. You know, clearly his favorite thing to do. So
yeah.
Thank you to everybody who listens. We appreciate it. Like Andrew said, YouTube, TikTok, Blue Sky, those are the big ones we'd want to send you to. Leave us a comment on our videos. We try to put out funny stuff, quick stuff, just you know, different things that we think you would like. And we'll be back again next week. I think we're going to talk John Cena's last match, and maybe we'll watch a John Cena match, one of his famous ones, because
sounds good.
The GOAT's retiring on Saturday.
We should also watch his first match.
Yeah, we should do that. So we'll be John Cena centric next week. But until then, just remember, there is no peace in the Undertaker's graveyard.
Certainly is true.